There is a place in Britain where queues form before sunrise, where a simple paper bag can brighten a grey morning, and where a £1 snack has quietly become part of everyday life. That place is Greggs. Greggs is not a luxury brand. It doesn't sell fine dining. It doesn't pretend to be sophisticated. And yet, it has something most brands spend decades chasing: loyalty, habit, and cultural relevance. There are now more Greggs shops in the UK than McDonald's. Every week, millions of people walk in, order the same thing, and walk out, barely thinking about it. But here's the strange part. This wasn't planned. Greggs wasn't built in a boardroom. It didn't begin with a strategy deck or a global vision. It started with a man on a bicycle. Chapter 1: The Man with a Bicycle. In the 1930s, in the industrial city of Newcastle, a man named John Gregg had a simple job. He delivered eggs and yeast. Not by van. Not by truck. By push bike. Day after day, he cycled through working-class neighborhoods. He used only a bicycle to deliver eggs and fresh milk to households in the area. There was no brand. No logo. No ambition to build a company. Just a man meeting a need. And perhaps that's where the story really begins. Because Greggs was never about invention. It was about understanding ordinary life. After more than a decade of deliveries, John Gregg made a decision. And in 1951, he opened a small bakery on Gosforth High Street. A single shop. With a bakery at the back. Nothing remarkable. Except, it worked. Chapter 2: A Bakery with Standards. Inside that small shop, something important was taking shape. Greggs wasn't trying to be fancy. But it was trying to be consistent. The bread was made from carefully selected wheat. The process was precise. The taste, reliable. And in post-war Britain, that mattered. People didn't want luxury. They wanted something they could trust. Something warm. Something fresh. Something affordable. Greggs quietly became part of the daily routine. Not a destination. But a habit. And habits are powerful things. Chapter 3: The Second Generation. In 1964, everything changed. John Gregg passed away. And the business was taken over by his son, Ian Gregg. Now, this is where the story could have ended. Many family businesses don't survive the second generation. But Ian Gregg saw something different. He didn't just see a bakery. He saw a system. A model that could be repeated. And so, instead of slowly growing one shop at a time, Greggs began acquiring other local bakeries. Across the northeast. Then Scotland. Then Yorkshire. By the 1970s, Greggs wasn't just local anymore. It was spreading. Not by reinventing itself, but by replicating what already worked. Good food. Fair prices. And no unnecessary fuss. In 1972 in Arthur and Apple's, S Hill, Newcastle. Greggs had Greggs outlet stores specializing in selling previous day and Apple's, S, or misshapen products at extremely low prices to minimize food waste. And expanded to a number of small retail outlets in North and Central England, Scotland and 2 in Wales. Chapter 4: From Local to National. By 1984, Greggs had over 260 shops. And for the first time, it stepped onto a much bigger stage. The stock market. Going public changed everything. Because now, Greggs wasn't just serving customers. It was answering to shareholders. Expansion accelerated. New regions. New high streets. New opportunities. But also, new risks. Because as any British brand knows, the bigger you get, the easier it is to lose what made you special. Chapter 5: The War for Bread. In the 1990s, a new threat emerged. Supermarkets. They didn't just sell groceries anymore. They sold fresh bread. Cheaper. Faster. And at scale Greggs couldn't match. This was no longer competition. It was domination. And Greggs faced a difficult truth. It could not win this battle. Not on price. Not on volume. And certainly not on convenience. For a traditional bakery, this should have been the beginning of the end. But instead, it became the beginning of something else. Chapter 6: The Decision That Changed Everything. In September 2011, Greggs opened its first Greggs Moment store. A 104-seat cafe in its hometown of Newcastle on Northumberland Road. This was followed by another store at the nearby Metro Centre in August 2012, with 5 stores in operation by February 2013. In 2013, Greggs made a decision that would redefine the company. It stopped thinking of itself as a bakery and started thinking like a fast food brand. Because around 80% of its business was already coming from food on the go. People weren't buying loaves of bread. They were buying breakfast, lunch, quick snacks between trains. So Greggs adapted. Shops opened earlier, closed later. Menus expanded. Breakfast deals appeared. And slowly, quietly. It was a bold move. In 2016, Greggs moved their headquarters from Jesmond, Newcastle to the Quorum Business District, Long Benton, North Tyneside. In October 2016, Greggs launched its delivery service on a trial basis. By June 2017, Greggs had opened its first drive-through shop at Earlham Gateway service station in Salford. Subsequent drive-through shops were opened in Ashby-de-la-Zouch, Bradford, Blackburn, and Newcastle. Chapter 7: The Power of the Sausage Roll. If there is one symbol of Greggs, it is the sausage roll. Simple, unpretentious, and incredibly popular. Millions are sold every week. But the real turning point came in 2019. When Greggs did something unexpected. It launched a vegan version. At first, it seemed like a gimmick. Then came the reaction, including criticism from broadcaster Piers Morgan. He mocked it publicly. And Greggs responded. Not with anger, but with humor. The internet took notice. The story went viral. And sales surged. Almost overnight, Greggs became something new. Not just familiar, but relevant. Chapter 8: From Food to Culture. At some point, Greggs stopped being just a place to eat and became a part of British culture. There were memes, social media jokes, and then a collaboration with Primark turned Greggs into a fashion statement. Hoodies, socks, even sandals, all branded with a bakery logo. And people loved it. Because Greggs understood something many brands don't. You don't need to be aspirational to be loved. You just need to be real. Chapter 9: More Than Business. Behind the humor and the pastry, there is another side to Greggs. Community. From early initiatives like free meals for elderly residents, to modern programs providing millions of breakfasts for school children, Greggs has remained connected to its roots. In 2021, it launched the Greggs Pledge, a set of commitments focused on sustainability, health, and social impact. Greggs still wants to feel local. And perhaps that's why it still works. Breakfast Club. Through the Greggs Foundation, they provide over 8 million free breakfasts annually to underprivileged elementary school children. Greggs Pledge. The company has committed to 10 sustainability goals by 2025, including achieving 25% of sales from healthy food and reducing plastic waste. Greggs has launched a new, smaller chain of stores called Bite-Size Greggs, starting at Sevenoaks train station on November 7, 2025. The goal is to establish branches of the chain in high-traffic areas, such as train stations, where space is limited. So what is Greggs, really? A bakery? A fast food chain? A cultural icon? Perhaps it's something simpler than that. Greggs is familiar. It is routine. It is part of everyday British life. Interesting and unique facts about Greggs. Greggs and Appos, capital, Newcastle boasts the highest concentration of Greggs stores per capita in the world. You and Appos, 3 times more likely to find a Greggs store here than anywhere else in the UK. Greggs has over 2,500 stores across the UK, far exceeding the total number of McDonald and Appos stores there, approximately 1,450. Greggs can be found on most major streets, at petrol stations, and even offers drive-through service. Each savoury pastry, bake or pasty, at Greggs has different patterns on the crust to help staff quickly distinguish them. Steak bake has diagonal cuts. Chicken bake has wavy lines. Vegetable bake has small dots on the surface. Sausage roll record. The sausage roll is the company and Appos' best-selling product, with approximately 2 million rolls sold each week.